Stone. Zura finishes and calls to us to get some sleep. She's fused the smart fibers of our suits, making a tent just big enough for 3. Its camo skin is pitch black in the darkness. Some part of my brain registers that it's awkward sharing a tent with Cole and one of his soldiers, but most of me is too exhausted too battered to care, and I need to pee. Back in a minute, I say. Zura sighs. You should have done that in the suit. I stare at her. What? Here in the wild, nothing's more important than water. The suit collects our sweat and urine and filter it back into drinking water. It tastes funny, but the purifiers work almost perfectly. Almost. No thanks. I turn away and head into the darkness. Watch out for snakes, Zura calls. Right. Deserts are full of snakes, aren't they? Hopefully, in this cold, they'll be asleep or hibernating or whatever snakes do. But as always, cold-blooded creatures are invisible in heat vision, so I can't be sure. The wild sucks sometimes. I'm not gone very long, but Cole and Zura are already asleep when I come back. They left me in the middle. Great. But at least it's warm inside the tent. The suits are opaque to infrared, and the insulation almost perfect. Zura warned us that the heat of 3 bodies will make things downright hot by morning. I'm fine with that. When I lie down, there's a rock in the middle of my back. It's under the floor of the tent, big as an apple, embedded in the ground. Trying to shift it aside for the tent fabric is useless. I lie there trying to sleep, but the stone is too big to ignore. Does Zura not see it, or did she leave it there on purpose? I wonder if the rest of the Victorian army will feel the same way about me. If all they'll see is Raphia, the first daughter of the enemy, even after I explain to who I really am. Maybe alliances are bogus. Maybe I should have stayed on an army of 1. I should go back to Shreb, sneak into my father's house, and get my sister out. Or maybe it's just this brain-wrecking rock in my back. I sit up and unseal the tent. The desert air reaches in icy fingers along my flesh. Cole stirs, a plaintive murmur pushing from his lips. The cold outside is brutal after the warmth of the tent. The freezing sand sticks to my bare knees and palms like ice crystals. I slide one arm under the tent. With my fingers stretched out, I can reach the stone, but it's half buried and it takes a solid minute of scrambling before it pops out. There's something in the hole, a folded piece of paper. I pull it out and stare in the starlight. The paper is covered with coded markings, like the weapon cases back in the Palafox's bunker, but this is handwritten, hasty and clumsy. I stick my head back into the tent and whisper, Cole. He doesn't respond. I grasp his bare ankle with my freezing hand. He sputters awake, staring at me with confusion and annoyance. I wave the paper. Someone left us a note. He blinks a few more times, then finally sits up. A gust of wind rushes past me into the tent, and Zura jolts awake, reaching for her rifle. Relax, I say. Cole crawls halfway out into the starlight. When I hand him the paper, his eyes go wide. It's Victorian battle code, he says. Can you read it? It says, stay here. We'll check back soon. Cole squints closer and then, leave me the sign so I'll know it's you. And watch out, this place is plagued by scorpions. I sit up straight. Scorpions? Fantastic. Better than fantastic. Cole looks up from the paper. This is my little brother's handwriting.